I'm going to show you how to label vowels in prod. I have pre-recorded a sentence in Spanish, and in it I will label every vowel A, E, I, O, and U, disregarding any diphthongs. So first I launch prod. Then I will open the sound file. Open LongSound file. My file is located in a folder called Vowels, which is on my desktop. I select Sound 0. Choose. To label the vowels, we want to create a TextGrid file for annotation. Annotate to TextGrid. Next, we need to specify the names of tiers. We will only have one and we'll call it segments. And we will leave pointers field blank because segments is an interval field. OK? Now we want to actually edit the TextGrid object that we have just created. We can view it alone, but it's easier to edit it when the sound file is also open. So we will select both LongSound and TextGrid by holding Shift, and then click View and Edit. The LongSound is shown in the upper part of the window, and the tiers of the TextGrid are in the lower part. We only have one, and it's called Segments. To make sure that prod runs as fast as possible on your computer, you want to disable Pitch, which is this blue line, Intensity, which is the yellow line, and Formants, which are these red dots. So I click Pitch and uncheck Show Pitch, Intensity, uncheck Show Intensity, Formant, uncheck Show Formants. We can play the whole file by clicking on this area in the bottom of the prod editor window.
Daniel, Enrique y David van a viajar a Estados Unidos por un mes.
Remember that if you want to zoom in or out, you can do so by clicking on one of these buttons on the bottom of the prod editor window. You can also press Command-I or Control-I if you are on Windows to zoom in, and Command-O or Control-O to zoom out. You can also use the mouse to select a part of the file and zoom in on the selection by pressing Command-N or Control-N. You can play the visible part of the file by clicking here on the bottom.
Okay, David.
So now let's label the vowels. Let's zoom out and let's move to the start of the file. Okay, for each vowel we will create an interval. So let's find the first vowel. The first one that we will label is the vowel A in the word Daniel.
Daniel.
A starts approximately here. We can add a boundary by pressing the return key on the keyboard. So that's the left boundary. Now let's add the right one. Let's select a point and press return again. You can adjust the boundary by dragging it to the left or to the right with the mouse and placing it exactly where you want it. You can click on the interval to select it and then press Tab to play it to make sure that you've selected the right region. Okay, that sounds good. We can give a name to the interval. We'll call it A, because that's the vowel that the interval represents. Next we have a diphthong, yeah. But as I said before, I only care about the vowels A, E, I, O, and U, so I will ignore it. So the second vowel that I will label is the vowel E in the word Enrique. So it starts approximately here and ends here. Now let's label it E and play it to make sure that that's what we want. Okay, sounds good. As you probably have noticed, the vowels are the darker regions of the spectrogram. So the next vowel, which is E, is probably around here. Let's see. But in fact it's not. It's the consonant R. And E actually starts somewhere over here and ends here. And let's check to make sure. Okay, that sounds much better. Let's label it. Now let's find the next vowel, which is E, the final E. This is actually two vowels, E and E. F from the word Enrique and E from the conjunction. So let's split this region in two. You can hear that that's E, and this is E. The next vowel is A from the word David. It starts approximately here and ends here. Okay, now let's label the E. Okay, the next vowel is A in the word ban. And this one is very easy. Then we have the preposition A. Next, we have a diphthong, which I will again ignore. Then we have the last A from the word viajar. Then we have another A, which is a preposition. And this is actually two vowels again, A and E. So let's split the region in two. I hope you can hear the difference. So we have A and E from Estados. Now we have another A. And then we have the O. Then we have the vowel U from Unidos. Then we have the E. And then we have an O. I think I can still hear the D, so I will adjust it a little bit. Okay, that sounds better. We have another O in the word por. The next vowel is U in the article un. And then finally we have the last vowel, which is E in the word mes. One last tip. If you've accidentally created a boundary you do not need, you can go to Boundary, Remove, or press Option Delete on Mac to remove the undesired boundary. Now let's save the TextGrid. File, Save TextGrid as text file, and I will save it in the folder Vowels, where my sound file is located. I will leave sound0.txtgrid as the name and click Save. So that's it. We've now labeled all the vowels A, E, I, O, and U in our file.